Oh, man.
He just gains ground on people. Like that, the one late play, I'm like, man.
He's an incredible route runner. A lot of things going well for the Cowboys. Of course, we've got more Cowboys OT coming your way in a matter of moments. We're going to have some instant reaction from the locker room. We'll also have some highlights as well. Let's take a look at some of the celebrations. Jake Ferguson's got his whole hand inside that turkey. Everybody's celebrating after the Thanksgiving win. Cowboys take down the Chiefs 31-28. More to come from the Star in Frisco.
Welcome to Dallas Game Day, and welcome to a moment this franchise hasn't felt in years. Because today, Cowboys Nation isn't just celebrating a win, they're witnessing a transformation, a shift, a belief turning into reality. For weeks, the Cowboys were fighting to stay alive in the playoff hunt. The margin for error was zero. The pressure, immense. The critics, loud. But when the stage got bigger, Dallas got better. And on Thanksgiving, under the brightest spotlight the NFL has to offer, the Dallas Cowboys took down the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28 in a battle that felt like a playoff elimination game. Because for Dallas, that's exactly what it was. Early on, the Cowboys took a punch, a first-quarter interception, momentum slipping, Mahomes heating up. But instead of folding, Dallas did the one thing championship teams do. They responded. With grit, with discipline, with physicality, and with defense. This Dallas defense, rebuilt, reloaded, and reborn, has become the heartbeat of this team. Quinnen Williams changed everything. The interior pressure, the collapsing pockets, the lanes opening for Overshown to fly free. The secondary, playing faster, smarter, more confident. 2 shutout quarters against Patrick Mahomes doesn't happen by accident. It happens because the Dallas defense is finally playing playoff football. And then, there's the offense. When Dallas needed a play, Dak delivered. Every single time. CeeDee Lamb regaining his swagger. George Pickens winning one-on-ones like a true WR1. Ferguson moving the chains when everything was on the line. And in the fourth quarter, with 70,000 fans on their feet, the Cowboys went back to something old, something reliable. That slant route. Pickens at the line, a violent release, a dagger-sharp cut. First down, game over. That's not luck. That's not chance. That's Dallas football finally at full power. And make no mistake, this win means more than numbers, standings, or stats. This was belief turning into proof. This was the Cowboys beating last year's NFC champion and the year before Super Bowl champion in back-to-back weeks. That doesn't happen unless something real is brewing. So now, Dallas marches into Detroit with elimination vibes in the air. The season hanging in the balance, the playoffs within reach, and a team that finally looks like it understands who it can become. A contender, a threat, a problem for the entire NFC. This is Dallas Game Day, and the Cowboys are not done yet, not even close. Buckle up, Cowboys Nation, because if this team gets into the playoffs, nobody is safe.